What's going on, everybody? Hashtag Data Spartan back with a new video today, and I am joined by Chris Senkbile. He is the VP at Unico and founder at Ferro. So, Chris, thank you for joining me, man.
Thanks for having me, Lance.
Yeah, awesome. So really what I wanted you to do is we were talking about how the industry as a whole kind of needs to unify because there's a lot of sort of segmentation there and sort of broken pieces. So can you kind of dig into that? Because there are a couple of interesting insights that you were talking about there.
Yeah, I think, our perspective, what we see is there is a lot of fragmentation and we think a lot, spend a lot of time thinking about how do we unify the industry. And I think the fact of the matter is we all serve in this industry a common group, and that is insureds, policyholders, right? And so I think somehow over time, the industry has really become not insured centric, even though it's an insured centric industry. And so we just look at it and say, what does it look like to really try and bring that unification? And for us, the common themes we see in the space right now is everybody's like customer experience. How do we, make a better customer experience? And so I think it's a challenging thing to tackle if there's no unification, if we're not all working towards a common goal. And so we really think of things in a kind of an abundance mentality of, hey, we got to kind of link arms with one another and work together to, to promote positive change. Otherwise, we're all going to continue to just kind of spin our wheels.
So I guess, why do you think this is happening? Like, what are a couple of sort of root causes about, that sort of spurred this?
Yeah, I think data has a lot to do with it. I think that probably becomes one of the the key components there is whose data is it, and who owns it, and I think everybody wants to like make their claim that it's our data, and I think that impacts the way the industry engages. And ultimately is a disservice because I think that at the end of the day, it's insured's data, right? And we're all stewards of that to a large degree. So I think that's probably part of it. And then I think, there's a lot of insurance companies, and just by virtue of that fact, there's going to be fragmentation, right? 10,000 applications floating out in the atmosphere, right? Like that's a lot of applications. So I think that certainly is, a big component of it as well.
Interesting. So, if you could kind of, stroke the brush over it, what would like an ideal sort of, future state, for lack of a better term, look like? Like, what do you think is your solution or your view of the solution?
Yeah, I think it comes down to, really just start small and thinking about consistency. And thinking about consistency of experience. If everybody's focused on customer experience, how do you create a consistent customer experience? And I think once you kind of start working as an industry towards that consistent experience, you can start to kind of bring that unification over the top and bring people down to that experience, if that makes sense. So I think for us, we really spent a lot of time thinking about really just consistency and how do we do that, right? How do we potentially align around the policyholder and in so doing bring consistency across brokerage interaction, insurance company distribution and things like that. So I think that's really it is consistency and working together towards a common goal.
Interesting. So that's a really good way to sort of bookend, our conversation here. If you are an agency owner or somebody, responsible for that an agency that wants that like unification and that unified experience you're talking about, what sort of one actionable insight that anybody watching this can take right now to, I guess, either kickstart or kind of define that journey?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things. Industry cohorts, collaborations of any kind. Hey, brokers are getting together to talk about problems. I think those are great spots, and there's a bunch of those out there. One that we're familiar with and know is broker tech ventures, right? Bringing brokers and companies and tech together to talk about solving problems. But I really think it's finding folks you can link up arms with and starting to voice that common goal, right? So I think that's the spot to start for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Thanks, man, for that. Guys,
Yeah.
hope you got some good value out of them. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.